Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Kurban. If you're new here, what are you doing? You should be watching the first episode of 2020, because as you can see from the game screen, today we're gonna play episode 2, Time to Play with You. In any case, I'm not gonna make a long intro, because I just did, and I just cut myself a lot. So, let's just get into the game, shall we? New schools, new teachers, and most importantly, new classmates, who I always have trouble communicating with. Like most other kids with glasses, probably. I forced myself to get out of my warm bed. Dad would usually drive me to my old school, but this morning, the bedroom of my parents was silent. Did they sleep in? Maybe it was a good thing. I didn't want them to get the daddy boy reputation from day one. My parents were probably still tucked in, dreaming about their good old days, when everything was so simple and easy. Sweet dreams, even if far removed from reality. I silently sneak out to the first floor so I wouldn't wake anybody, especially the peaceful sleeping Olia. I did my best to step on the middle of every floorboard. I used to play like this even in our old apartment. If my soul touched the space between the floorboards, it counted as stepping into lava. The clock was spurring me on with its hands. I need to hurry. Faster. Faster. I was too fast, so I needed to circle the hallway once again. Boiling lava was bursting out of the cracks between the floorboards. I need to watch my step, survive at any cost. Hippity hop like a frog jumping on molehills, like a fearful bunny in a grove full of wolves. I made a sandwich in the kitchen, shoved it down my throat, and drank it down with cold tea. My appetite was as good as someone being led up in a scaffold towards the guillotine. I lowered my gaze and saw that one of my feet was standing on two floorboards at the same time. Burned to a crisp, huh? I moved my foot. Disgusting little snakes writhed in my belly. The fear of getting hit and being called nasty names. The clock clicked. I need to go. It was dark outside, fitting for an early winter morning. This darkness never fully left the house around here. I took my time tying my shoes, buttoning up the puffy down jacket, trying to delay my unpleasant exit into the semi-dark, into the unnerving unknown. I rubbed my glasses for good luck, though I couldn't remember a single time this thick piece of glass brought me any good fortune. The skin was akin to a giant bruise. On the east side of it, a black cloud was swelling up. It licked up stars from the sky and extinguished the rising sun. Darkness was plastered all over the treetops. The cautious cries of birds get tangled up in the thicket. I locked the front door with a long key that I wore around my neck. My parents made me wear this noose, afraid I was being total cloth that I am could lose the key otherwise. The wind whizzed on the other side of the gate. It invited me into my new life, towards dubious adventures. And sat alone like an old buddy, pushing me in the back. White shadows that pines throughout the covered a third of the clearing. Upon reaching the edge of the forest, I hid my nose in the coat's collar. I was squeezing through the thin firebreak, my hair ruffled up and my back hunched over. Tall trees stood on both sides of the tiny trail. A snowy blanket rustled under my feet, and the canopy of intertwined branches above my head cut me off from the already sparse starlight. The night had no plans of moving away from the forest. In the darkness, trees remind me of shaggy old women that smells of burial earth. Their trunks turned into cracked, wrinkled faces with holes in the middle of their mouths. If I lose focus even for a moment, mold-covered witches would drag me into the forest depths. Then my parents will be walking around this part screaming my name. But the dead can't answer the living. Or can they? Dun dun dun. A sense of panic was growing in my chest. I was fine with Dad carrying me to school in his hands by now if it saved me from watching the darkness rise up in the ravines like black dough. Felt like someone jumped into the bushes behind me, so I turned around. As soon as I start walking faster, I hear the snow squeak behind me. The forest took a deep breath with its giant lungs, the windfall cracked. The wind and the birds were left behind in the field. Now I could only hear the forest creak. I walked and listened closely, and the unseen presence grew stronger. as if someone was following me, trying to match the pace of my footsteps. I turned my head as fast as I could. It made my neck crunch. A tiny trail behind me disappeared into the darkness. Tree branches overlapped, forming a natural tunnel.
Есть здесь кто?
The question escaped my lips and dissolved into the unending creaking sound of the wooden idols, the pines around me. Why did I think going through the forest alone was a good idea? I'm either going mad, or someone had intentionally lured me away from home. Distant lights granted me a smidgen of hope. A country road. Take me home. I ran there as fast as I could, as if afraid that the trail will shrink. Clawed hands will grip me by the shoulders, turn me around, and make me look at the faces of hungry forest denizens. In the end, nobody stopped me. I almost flew to the decrepit wooden bridge, disbelieving my luck. The bridge support battered in a spring, tarry and ice cold. I put my hand on my knees and looked up at the forest. Then snorted, trying to calm my breathing. The thicket was pretending to be asleep. It looked peaceful, lifeless. The remaining part of my commute lay through a snow-laden road, illuminated by a sparse lamplight. I chased away bad thoughts and raced as fast as I could from one circle of light to another, seeking protection from electric lamps. Just like in that game where you need to be the first to proclaim, I'm protected. It's just in the case that protection was flimsy at best, with darkness writhing outside its bounds. Then I noticed something remarkably eerie. In a place where the light from an inclined lamp could not reach, a hairy, crooked shadow came alive with a guttural roar, like a freaking werewolf. It almost felt like its features deterred light, its unnatural pose instilled fear. My eyes almost popped out their sockets as I stood there, blinking, trying to chase away the illusion. But the shadow didn't miss fear and even got closer. My insides were gripped by horror. I stepped back and almost fell into the snow pile. The black silhouette, on the other hand, straightened up and addressed me in a sweet voice.
Чего крадешься? Душу мою украсть хочешь?
Is that a sweet voice with a growling? Words got stuck in my throat. Who could be talking in such silky voice here between the forest and the dormant village?
Чего молчишь, несмышленыш? Язык вырвать? Слушай, а я тебе еще и нос откушу. Будешь знать, как совать его в чужие дела.
A girl stood before me, judging from the voice and the silhouette. But I couldn't even reprimand myself for getting scared by a girl before noticing a gaping mouth under her hood, something dangerously shiny inside. I was stunned. Wow! Furry. From the cavity of her hood, frighteningly a real fox face was staring right at me. It's just her jaws were moving and her eyes were blinking. A mask. It's just a girl with a full fox mask on. At least I wanted to think that. After a surprise like that, a nervous smile involuntarily crept onto my face.
А я просто в школу иду, а тут ты. Что я? Никогда не видел, как лиса собаку кормит.
And indeed, there was a small dog circling the girl's legs. One of the strays that were chasing yesterday, probably.
Извини, я не хотел.
After hearing my voice, the dog whimpered, lowered its ears, and sniffed me out, and then started wagging its tail. I guess I still smelled of bologna that I ate for breakfast. I was shifting my gaze back and forth from the dog to the girl. She didn't seem scary anymore, just weird.
Значит, не хотел. Меня Антон, а тебя? А меня нет.
His beard definitely has a couple of loose screws, but she has a nice voice. My astonishment has turned into a mix of happiness and relief. This girl I didn't know was definitely human, but a bit eccentric. I was also a bit angry at myself. This foxy girl was walking through the darkness without problem, and I shuddered from every little sound. I could just walk away, but this girl had piqued my interest. The next time a police officer asked me about my friends at the new place, I'll tell him that I befriended a talking fox.
Ты здесь живешь? В поселке?
Fox giggled and purred. She spun around so hard the hem of her coat lifted up.
Нет, глупый. Лисы не живут в поселках. Хочешь сказать, ты живешь в лесу? Из какой норы ты вылез? Конечно! Лисам среди людей не выжить. Пока они лисы.
Her jokes were also weird. Just like her carnival mask, papier-mâché with fur glued onto it. A dog reminded us of its existence. Our dog reminded us of its existence with a loud bark. I unfastened my backpack. Dad would sometimes throw food in there without my knowledge, cookies, apples, or even my favorite crabstick. He called it a gift from the bunny. The stray strolled towards me with mincing footsteps, with a pleading look in its eyes. The fox did definitely treat it something, but it was probably still hungry.
Зачем ты так вырядилась с утра пораньше? На утренник идешь?
The girl shrugged, throwing silvery snowflakes up her nose, and her human form along with them, turning into a genuine beast. Real fox, agile, cunning, and dangerous. A moment of hesitation and you'll be ripped to stretch. She'll tear you up and gulp you down without breaking a sweat. I couldn't help but just stand there as a stump. Until I heard her calm, melodic laughter, hidden underneath the beastly mask.
Видел бы ты свою маску, сладенький.
So, did she say sweetie? I got embarrassed, went right up to my hair roots, and this guy's easy to please, huh? We seen a fox in a zoo once, when we went there with Dad, but it had a patchy fur and was gray and skinny. Poor fox. But this girl was all fiery color and furry, just like in fairy tales. I was still rummaging through my backpack. My fingers that were reaching for the dog treat stumbled on some soft crumpled object.
Ничего. Скоро проснутся настоящие звери. Спроси-ка лучше у них, где они взяли свои человеческие лица.
The girl's shadow was dancing in the lamp's light. The dog yapped in agreement. I freaked out and dropped my findings in the snow without getting a proper chance to examine it. Cold wind instantly covered the hole it created with snow. The dog rushed to dig it out, wanting to get its treat. And the fox just snorted. Now I was so embarrassed I wanted to stick through the snow. It was so dark outside of the electric circle. On the contrary, the darkness seemed even more thick. All neighboring houses were sleeping deeply in its inkiness. I did my best to continue the conversation with a weird girl I didn't know.
Так ты в школу идешь? Ах, ну какой же дурачок! Так ничего и не понял?
Well, I was trying to be friendly, but she can't stop mocking me, calling me the dummy and all. I should have just moved along without paying any attention to this weirdo and her stupid dog. Hey, the dog did nothing.
А ты чего обзываешься? Не хочешь отвечать, пожалуйста. Никто не требует.
Still, something froze me in place, tugging me towards the dark figure. The mysterious appearance, her voice that was velvety and just languid enough. I was intrigued and excited. I watched her as people watch fire burn.
Ой, да не дуйся. Гляди-ка лучше. Ты нравишься Жульке.
Жулька? Doug was digging through the snow with sharp movements, snoring loudly. The fox turned around and looked at the windows of nearby houses at its timber front through the white mist. The tip of her fake nose was shining under the lamp's light.
И не только ей.
I went red again like a boiled crayfish this time. Man, this guy. Is she talking about herself or someone else? I hoped that the semi-dark would be able to hide my embarrassment from the girl. I cleared my throat before asking.
А кому еще я нравлюсь?
Look at her. Look at his face. I waited, counting my heartbeat. The fox didn't reply. Her sly stare was scanning the frosty patterns of someone's windows. She was reading them like a glass book. I wonder what she can see in those winter paintings. The stray stopped rummaging through the snow. It ran to me, holding my object in her paws. A mitten. Could be the one I found in the forest. Did you find something in the forest? I thought we didn't take it. What's it doing here? When I looked closer, I realized it was just my mitten. Maybe my mom stuck it in there when I was asleep. Such a missing boy immediately came to mind.
Эй, ты знаешь что-нибудь про Вову?
I imagined the scene, silhouettes dancing in the clearing. The dance on the night when Vova had disappeared. A boy who, when found, can provide a big reward and maybe save my family. I remembered my birthday when our parents promised me to take me and Olya to Disneyland in Paris. But instead of a long anticipated gift, they gave me a simple brick game console, visibly embarrassed. I was crying my ass out back then, demanding to take me to the promised amusement park. That was the first time when Mom and Dad had a big fight. My greediness shattered their relationship. If only I could fix everything, gather everybody I love and take them to Disneyland.
В ночь, когда пропал Вова, я, кажется, видел, как кто-то похожий на тебя плясал под моим окном.
Well, you shouldn't say that. It couldn't be true, but I felt like her mask became even more sly. The fox was sniffing me out.
А что, ты тогда испугался? За себя или кого-то еще?
Olya, as soon as I thought about my sister, my chest tightened and my cold sweat streamed down my spine.
Ну так слушай меня внимательно, мальчик по имени Антон.
Anton.
Это большой и страшный лес.
The fox girl stepped forward menacingly.
И я не единственный его обитатель. Другие звери уже знают о тебе. Берегись нас. Этой ночью мы опять придем.
I should have talked to this evil and child form, I thought, panicking.
Пока ты со своей семьей будешь спать, подкрадемся близко-близко. Макарену!
Чё?
Эй, Макарена! У тебя прямо челюсть отвисла, Антоша!
Antosha.
Видел он меня ночью у своего окна? Ага, как же! А ты случаем не местный дурачок, нет? Меня не отпускают гулять так поздно. Здесь, знаешь ли, дети пропадают.
I touched the plastic frame of my glasses, puzzled by her silly joke. She got me scared to death.
Ой, да не тереби ты окуляры свои. Я раньше тоже близорукой была. Лучше послушай меня. Может быть, ума наберешься. Лисичку как обычно называют?
Плутовка?
My words seemed to hurt her.
Ох ты ж! Да как ты меня?
Ой, прости.
Her laughter was akin to the jingle of a pair of silver bells.
Да шучу я! Конечно, плутовкой. Если ты ловкий и смелый, не боишься с плутовкой водиться, я, так и быть, помогу разыскать этого Вову. Ты же неспроста его ищешь, да?
I shrugged in reply. Her insight was alarming.
Знаю, почему дети повадились соваться в наш лес. Порой там можно найти много всякого интересного. Я вот однажды нашла целый сугроб конфет и купалась в нем, да так что челюсть слиплась.
A pile of candy. I couldn't deduce whether she believed in what she was saying from the tone of her voice. I showed her not a smile, a fake one this time.
Посмотрите-ка, какой недоверчивый. Ну-ну, а что ты на это скажешь?
She held out her hand in the fur mitten. This is a great picture. There's an assortment of sweets in her palm. In the city where I used to live, sweets like this were sold in markets or in kiosks. I saw my favorite bubblegum in a vivid wrapper among the tasty treasure. A familiar name was on it, Turbo. The triangle fox face poked her nose towards me.
Угощайся! У меня их полные карманы.
Yeah, why not? We want it. I accepted the treat and catching a whiff of the girl's smell for fireworks and citrus, the smell of holidays. My fingers tingled while I was carefully unwrapping the gum. Peachy aroma entered my nostrils and something else, something unfamiliar but pleasant. The fruity cube ended up in my mouth. I started moving my molars, chewing the gum. It tastes like a usual Turkish gum, only my tongue was a bit numb. I couldn't believe my luck after opening the insert. I looked at the Mercedes brands, the extremely and hence desirable collector items for any boy from my previous neighborhood. My heart skipped a beat. I was barely able to tear my eyes off the insert, still stunned.
Это же... Это...
Теперь понял, что можно найти в лесу? Только на твоем месте я бы туда в одиночку не ходила. Тебе вон от жвачки в забу дыханье сперла. А представляешь, что с тобой будет, если найдешь чемодан таких фантиков? Голову напрочь снесет и пиши пропало.
Unusual treats, just like everything else about her. I carefully hid the insert in my bag as if I was putting a rare butterfly in a can. The fox giggled. This is how things are supposed to go on a Monday morning. Who are you? I refrained from asking that question. She wouldn't answer anyway, or she'll just lie. I really wanted to see what's behind our mask. I was becoming more and more sure that underneath it wasn't just a simple young girl.
Может, Вова тоже нашел сугроб сладостей и теперь кувыркается в нем? Слушай, вдруг он решил остаться в лесу? Тогда, наверное, ему очень холодно в одной варежке.
The wind caught her words like smoke from fire and carried them deep into darkness, into the creepy thicket. The trees behind me creaked with their bony branches.
Или с ним что-то случилось в пути. Что-то страшное.
The forest reacted to her words, became alive, sniffing me out, perking up its ears just like a furious beast. The fox girl pierced me with her eyes again.
Дикие звери?
Это, по-твоему, страшно?
Ну, не знаю.
Не знает. Уж не с двоечником ли я подружилась?
I didn't like being called a dunes, yet being friends with her sounded nice.
Я хорошист.
Белка пушист. Пойдешь со мной, хорошист Антон? Найдем твоего Вову и сам его спросишь, что он нашел в этой пуще. Ведь пока мы вместе, никто тебя в лесу не тронет. Вот увидишь.
Worms of worry writhed in my belly. Better run, whispered my mind.
Я тебе не верю.
Ты думаешь, я врунья? Да и пожалуйста, мне никогда никто не верит.
The girl sounded hurt, although I didn't know if she was genuine about it. She turned around as if she had immediately lost all interest in me. The gum felt bitter now. I remember my dad's favorite saying, "Where are your manners, son?" Indeed, this fox was kind to me.
Не обижайся, пожалуйста. Лисы бывают и добрыми. Ну, как в сказках. Мне бы только понять, что ты за лиса.
The girl giggled, hiding the nose of her mask in her hand.
Тогда пойдем со мной в лес, и ты все обо мне узнаешь. Но не сейчас, а когда рассветет. А то тебя, бедного, всего аж потряхивает. Да выгляди, кондрашка хватит. Айда, провожу тебя до школы.
After hearing this, the dog barked in agreement and stopped messing with the mitten. I leaned in, trying to grab the piece of handwear that almost ran away from
Ну,
me.
если тебе по пути,
We went towards the school and the lost dawn. Here and there, the lights came on in the windows of houses we passed as if the inhabitants were sending us warning signs. Silhouettes lurked behind the curtains, dogs let out occasional barks. Spirals of grey smoke rose from chimneys, Fifi bustled, and dishes clanged in the kitchen. We watched the village slowly rise from its slumber while carefully treading the snowy wheel trail. I walked in the left one and she took the right one. The dog was right behind us. I expected the fox to bring out something weird again, but she stayed silent all the way to school, as if playing with some game only she was privy to. She would only giggle from time to time when the dog sneezed from snowflakes that fell on its nose. I was the first to break its silence.
Так как тебя зовут?
Ну конечно. Имена, имена, имена. Людям непременно надо вешать ярлыки на все подряд. Ну и как бы ты назвал такую лису, как я?
Даже не знаю. Но я читал про лису по имени Алиса.
А что? Я не против. Пусть будет Алиса.
I couldn't understand if she was joking or not. I turned around as if looking for an answer from the dog, from the dark sky devoid of dawn. My silent question aloud left unanswered. The school outline was already in our sight. Giant brick blocks stuck in the endless night. Lights in its window didn't bode well for me. The warren trees were guarding the schoolyard. Screams and childish laughter, someone whistling interrupt the silence. I went here with Mom when we just moved, and the place looked cozy at the time. Empty corridors that smell of polish. Puffy snow outside. Second time I came to get my books and just keep on imagining my peers rolling down the railings, grade schoolers, running to the library, and teachers marching on the corridor with the air of self-importance around them. High schoolers were smoking at the entrance in track pants and wool caps perched on their forehead. Their appearance destroyed the last of hopes of her cozy school. Their stingy eyes and the teeth yellow from nicotine. Their smirks, all of it had the same gloomy effect as the cloudy winter morning. Absurd by my thought, I completely forgot about my companion.
После уроков жду тебя на заднем дворе. Возле повешенного.
Hanged man?
Возле кого?
He just ignored my question.
Не опаздывай.
I hesitated. Blowing hot and cold again, Mom always said when I would have trouble choosing between two options. Thinking about Mom helped me
Я после
reply.
школы сразу домой.
Эх, Антоша, Антоша, это я тебя так просто отпустила. Другие же незаметно подкрадутся со своими улыбочками и вцепятся. Клещами не оторвешь. Попомни мои слова.
The fox opened her mouth in a wide yawn. What kind of trick is this? Someone running in the distance called out my name. I instinctively turned around. A huge snowball whizzed past my shoulder and hit the dog. Hey! It whimpered and ran towards the spring. Whoever hit the dog is going to die. Darkness devoured it. The fox girl was also nowhere to be seen. She dissolved in the frosty air. Or was she hiding in my shadow? I gulped and swallowed the gum. Unlucky. After taking a deep breath, I went towards the school, towards the cutlass window, towards the light raining down on the snow. Ew. Whose nest is this, I wonder? A thieving magpie. Then it probably has all sorts of shiny things in it. Piece of powerful glass, bottle caps, polished coins for our child braces. A tall man was sitting near the gate, puffing out clouds of smoke into the wind. He didn't look like a teacher. Was he a PE guy, maybe? I carefully studied his face that looked like it was cut from a piece of granite, and his hair that was holding down on a cigarette. He was playing around with car keys and staring back at us. The light from the cigarette was reflected in his eyes that were sitting deep in his eye socket. I froze in place. The hulking man lazily tore off his eyes from us and walked towards the road. There was a fresh-looking Volga parked nearby, with one of its front wheels perched up on an icy curb. Black like suits as if it was straight as a horror story Dad loved to tell me when he hid in the attic during his thunderstorm. I remember always wearing a sad smile while mentioning the black cars that snatched children, he would say. Like a funeral car on the inside, white curtains and all. And it has DSC in its license plate. Do you know what that means? Death to Soviet children. Funny, I was born in that USSR too. A buzzing crowd of follows with their winter hats tipped to their side. I better not draw their attention. Okay then. I could hear muffled voices behind the doors, saw blinking lamps. Darkness crept along the windows, and it felt the school was drifting in open space like a lonely, lost spaceship. After going up to the second floor, I noticed a crowd around the notice board. Everyone's taking a part in a lovely classroom. I moved closer to take a look at something everyone was interested in through the hall of backpacks. There was a piece of paper with something printed on it blue to the left of the notice board. There's no I button. Okay then. Vova.
Видишь его?
Vova Mayukan, 10 years old, grade 4B. He left his home on January the 5th, around 4 p.m., and never returned. Was last seen at the bridge over at the Smordonia River. He was wearing an orange coat with a hood, black wool cap, scarf, mittens with green stripes. Might have had a plastic toy gun on him. Features: 450 centimeters tall, skinny, brown hair and green eyes. Please call these numbers if you have any information on Vova's whereabouts. Vova Matnikin, that was his name. A 4th grader. On the rainy print, Vova looked dead with a black mouth and dark, empty sockets. Could it be that darkness swelling deep in the forest invaded its pores and mutilated his face? A plastic toy gun couldn't protect him from the whispering branches of the howling wind. Empty eyes of the lost boy pierced through my soul as if pleading. Unable to meet his stare, I turned around and rushed to the window. Took a seat on the windowsill. The corridor was slowly filling up with children in groups of few. Nobody paid me mind. In the darkness of school toilet, child voices were hammering a nursery rhyme.
Для медведя, для лисы, зайчик кушать принеси.
I turned my head towards them, trying to get a better look at their features, but then my attention was stolen by a loud clicking sound. A female teacher marched down the corridor with her chin raised up high. Her heels were hitting the floor like a miniature hooves, and a girl was staring at her every step. She was looking all pompous, stopping along the way, whispering some secret in her fan's ear. Oh, she's the posse. She was probably a class rep, just preparing the attendance register book.
Екатерина, возьми, пожалуйста.
Ekaterina. I love her name though. The teacher opened the classroom door and the crowd of children swarmed in, screaming and pushing. Ew. Sorry. Out of all of them, the tall red-haired fat boy, Kay, caught my attention. His face was full of blisters. He looked like the inside of a pomegranate. That is a disgusting imagery. You need some face wash, honey. Wash your face. A bad feeling rising up the hair at the back of my head. I've seen boys like him before, unsettled and cackling laughter. The girl who was a smaller copy of the teacher warned the boy with a wave of her hand and entered the room without clearing the crowd. Some of the guys stood in the way of the crowd, and the redhead immediately shoved him.
Топай речь, дело.
I don't like him. The boy flew headfirst, flailing his hands, trying to keep his balance. The fat sober started laughing, and a couple of kids joined his nasty cackling. Their laughter sounded like someone was snipping with huge garden scissors. The classroom sucked all of the kids in. The corridor stood empty. I wanted to grow roots and stayed on the windowsill. Just a handful of lampposts outside were battling the darkness, waving like fluorescent fish in the black ocean. Maybe I can still run away, go outside, dissolve in the dark. I imagine myself running through the snow, how it squeaks under my boot, and how I'm becoming lighter and lighter with every step. The ringer of thrill blew the illusion away. I turned myself in the window with great effort, and took a double deep breath, trying to at least calm down my mad pulse, and entered the classroom. The prim teacher looked at me over the frame of glasses, clearly annoyed.
Я новенький. Мне вот сказали к вам подойти.
Snowy Forest Hill was winning in front of my eyes. The plains rustled, but didn't sound predatory anymore. He buried himself in the register and flicked with the pages.
А фамилия-то как?
Петров.
Peaceful.
Громче говори. Чего мямлишь?
Петров.
Нет такого.
He measured me with a long and heavy stare as if trying to see if it's a lion. I wanted to sink to the floor. Hasty faces observed all of that from the left. The classroom breathed and snorted in unison, like a living organism, like a dangerous
Ты не
beast.
ошибся? Нет такого в списке.
My knees chose the worst time to start shaking, and I felt dizzy. I clenched my fist so hard, my neck felt become
Мне
white.
сказали, 204 кабинет, Лилия Павловна, 6 В.
First day, so it's a bit difficult, huh? Apparently, everyone in the classroom took my words for some sort of joke because they were all laughing.
Что за бардак?
Classroom felt silent. The kids had their smirks for a better occasion.
Понаберут студентов. Только знают, что губяки свои малевать. А я разгребай, значит. А бумаги-то кто заполнять будет? Не первый раз ведь уже. Подожди здесь. Сейчас. Сейчас я им устрою.
The teacher flew past me, mumbling something to herself in righteous anger, and was now standing at the center of the classroom. The worst. Like a convict in front of a firing squad, I lowered my gaze, feeling the mocking stares from all around the classroom directed at me. They prickled my skin, danced on it like lasers outside. Once again, I imagined running far away from this place, fighting the clawing wind, soaring high above the pines in one long jump. With the wind in my back as my only companion, the eyes of my future classmate were asking, "This new boy, is he one of us or an outsider?" Somebody whispered something, and stifled laughter rolled through the classroom.
Доску вытри!
It was easy to guess who was the main prankster here.
Эй, очкарик! Ты чё, не только слепой, но еще и глухой? Доску вытри, говорю!
My knees weren't the only one shaking part of my body anymore. I was trembling from head to toe, and I prayed for the teacher to come back sooner. My prayers were answered by the powers that be.
Ну что мне с тобой делать-то? Куда сажать, а? Давай-ка сядь, наверное, с Семеном. Он все равно один.
Oh, I bet you're gonna sit next to this guy.
Еще чего?
The professor put his backpack on the seat beside him in defiance, and scratched his belly in smirk.
Ты опять за старое? Снова бабушку в школу вызывать?
Classroom went silent.
А чё она мне сделает?
Не она, так я тебе сделаю. Рюкзак убрал быстро.
Simon didn't move a muscle. He started studying the portraits of writers on the wall, looking bored. I needed to do something to resolve this somehow, to save myself. I cleared my throat and continued in a stifled voice. I found out nothing was
Я могу за последнюю парту сесть. Там, кажется, свободно.
The teacher snorted loudly. She looked at me, then at Simon, then back at me.
Ладно, садись пока туда. А с тобой, Бабурин, мы еще поговорим. Чтобы подошел после уроков. Будешь по классу дежурить, ясно?
Simon forced out a twisted smile. Juicy pimples were growing on the tip of his nose, ripe for the taking. That is, once again, quite a disgusting imagery. I walked carefully, afraid to stumble and fall, causing another outburst of laughter from everyone. I took my seat at the back, the last table, where I was met with a pile of old posters. The outcasts took their seats, and the class was ready to start.
Вот и хорошо. Начнем урок. Тема – традиции русской и мировой литературы в рассказе Зощенко «Не надо врать».
The fatso turned back to me. He stared informally of the coming days, weeks, and months of bullying. Got my eyes on you, said his watery look. Disgusting. After a couple of periods, I noticed a huge yellow spit stain in my notebook. Then at the cafeteria, they see me and accidentally. Wait a minute, my cat's passing by. Didn't read it. Then at the cafeteria, the seaman accidentally spilled a glass of compote on me. And then he played his hands around after exiting the toilet, so some of the liquid from his hands would get on me. Just before the final period for today, Damien pushed me into the buzzing crowd of girls from our class. Oh wow, perfect timing, huh? They made my way cursing, but I couldn't hold my balance and not ramming my face into the girl I took for the class rep before, right in her chest. I immediately stepped back, dying from
Прости,
embarrassment.
ты в порядке?
Я...
Then she suddenly put her hands on her hips.
Нет, ну вы посмотрите на него. Облапал меня прямо у всех на глазах. Я сейчас все маме расскажу. Тебя из школы выгонит, извращенец.
Bitch like everyone else. There's some sort of sadistic pleasure in her eyes as she was a child who was about to put a lid up in a match of the Chefere battle.
Я нечаянно. Меня толкнули.
Все видели. Слепых среди нас нет.
He stared at my glasses while showing me a creepy smile. I started to fume on the inside, but Sammy's laughter cooled my head.
Толкнули? Чё, правда?
He swaggered up to me, enveloping me in the smell of sunflower seeds and rotting teeth. and then pushed me to the ground.
Вот так, да? И что ты сделаешь?
The bully towered over me as if saying, "Come on, hit me, let me see you try." Fight back, man. They've been too much, alright?
Слушай,
Ask
ты...
them. My throat went dry, my lips were moving on their own, and my voice was akin to a stifled squeal. Damien wore a mocking smile.
Давай, продолжай, очкарик. Чё примолк-то? Нам всем очень интересно.
Если еще хоть раз меня тронешь...
Damien slowly stuck out a finger and poked my forehead.
Натронул и чё?
Еще хоть раз!
Тронул. А
God,
вот еще.
what a bratty guy. Annoying.
И еще. И еще. И еще.
He was poking me with his finger so hard that my head tilted backward. I must not cry, or I'll be done for.
Чё ты мне сделаешь, мямля?
My vision went blurry. My soul tore off from the floor. I rushed forward and threw a random punch without looking. What I saw when I opened my eyes was beautiful and horrifying at the same time. Damien was holding his ear, blinking in amazement. Was I the first person to rebel against his absolute rule?
Стопэ!
I needed to run, but I was already surrounded by his cronies.
Лилия Павловна! Лилия Павловна! Петров Бабурина ударил!
Damien's cheeks grew even redder and his pimples even wider, like the heads of a larvae. Disgusting. But a smile flashed on his face that was only noticed among his comrades. He got really close to me, the smell of rabbit teeth washed over me.
Тебе пиздец.
His voice was evil and dangerous, like someone tore off the lid from a kettle with boiling fat. I was waiting to get hit, counting the thumps of my heart and guessing where his fist would go. The solar plexus, the jaw, the nose. But he just turned around and walked off. A thought, cold and sober, extremely irrational, popped in my head. I'm going to get killed today. I was late to leave school after classes on purpose. Damien didn't attend the last period, so I was hopeful. What if he decided to dodge the cleaning duty and ran home, forgetting all about me? I heaved a sigh of relief, like someone on death row's execution was delayed by a day. I didn't let myself forget his tone, his vengeful gaze, and his scary, outside smoke. While the other students were leaving school, laughing loudly, I was pretending to skim through my books near a window. I was staring outside, nervous. Damien was nowhere to be found in the front yard or near the school gate. I didn't believe I was this lucky, so I decided to be extra cautious and sit for some time in the corridor. It was gradually getting less crowded. Is that a good idea, though? I know. All of the bustle moved onto the first floor. There was a skeleton peeking through the biology classroom. Some jokester put a cap with the American condor on its head. The sound of running water were coming from the bathroom. I was the only person left in the whole school. I'm not alone, sudden thought came to mind. I remember the missing boy whose portrait was on the notice board with the schedule. I remember his smile. Well, it wasn't like that. Him looking at me, and the fact that he's most likely already dead.
Привет!
I shuddered and turned around. Ooh. Well, hello. At first, my eyes stumbled upon the black violin case. Then I noticed a girl from my class was holding it. She's pretty. She sat in the first row of the second column. I could swear I caught her looking at me a couple of times. And I was sneaking glances at her myself. Sometimes it just feels nice to look at something pretty, spraying the sky, or a girl that's not in the crowd that laughs at Semyon's jokes. And she wasn't whispering the dirty laundry of other people to Katya. She spent all the breaks just like me, staying in the classroom or looking in the window or drawing something in her green notebook.
Здравствуй.
I turned red and pretended I was studying the pattern on the wooden floor.
Круто ты ему врезал!
Это вышло случайно. Почти.
I started shoving books in my backpack to at least put something in my hand.
Вроде Семен раньше таким не был. Он к нам недавно перевелся. Бабушка мне его по секрету сказала, что он словно взбесился. Семена даже старшеклассники побаиваются. Представляешь? А ты вот молодец. Не струсил.
Well, thank you.
Угу.
Yeah, right, me, brave. A hero that has been standing around the hallway to avoid a beating. The girl looked at me with a clear, attentive eyes.
А ты за рекой живешь? В том деревянном доме?
Ну да.
Там, наверное, страшно. Да еще через лес идти. Я бы так не смогла.
I shiver at the mention of the forest. I thought of the twining branches of a snake-like trail of endless darkness that spread like mold among the crooked trees. So I straight up lied.
Да не так уж там и страшно.
Wow.
А что тебя так пугает?
She smiled after a brief pause, as if brushing off a daydream.
Да так, ничего. Меня, кстати, Полина зовут.
А меня Антон.
Ну, это я знаю. Слушай, Антон,
Yeah? She stumbled as if trying to decide whether she should continue.
а что ты делаешь после школы?
We got a date with a fox. My chest felt prickly after her innocent question, yet somehow it felt pleasant.
Ничего такого.
I stumbled and didn't finish my sentence. Oh. Yeah. Alyssa. Do you have similar eyes, not gonna lie? Alyssa predatory smile flashed in front of my eyes. Her playful eyes in the slits of the mask were probably just a product of my imagination, though. What if that fox girl was waiting for me after school? Or was it another of her weird jokes? I wonder if she's hiding a big rat tail under her coat. I suddenly got covered with beads of sweat, like after a PE class. I wanted to take a shower, as if just thinking about the foxy girl made me dirty, soiled my clothes, and lured me into the forest embrace. I like her, though. She's weird.
У меня сейчас занятие, скрипка, а потом я Дедушка мне репетитора нанял. Наш учитель музыки, он же скрипач. А здесь, в поселке, ему некому преподавать. Только...
She waved her free hand in the air, imitating the movement of a bow on a violin string. I could almost hear the music. It chased Alyssa out of my head. I looked at Paulina's lips, catching her every word, and was frozen from the unusual sensations. They were warm and soothing. And tingly. It's called love. Felt like I was very small and the feelings were immense and they couldn't fit inside me.
Тут говорят, что у нас в поселке маньяк завелся. Раньше со школы меня всегда дедушка забирал, но в последнее время ему не здоровится.
I snuck a glance at Boba's photo. His eyes were studying me, his lips were wearing black lipsticks. Just like the portrait on a gravestone.
Ты не подумай, я не трусишка, просто мне кажется, что с тобой будет безопаснее. Антон, ты сможешь проводить меня до дома?
There it was. Finally, everything that I read about in adventure books, everything that I dreamt about was slipping into my life. A mysterious crime, a beautiful stranger, and a heroic duo. A duo. Think of Simon instantly soloed me up, returned me back to earth, and started shaking under my feet like the deck of a ship. Only I could rise to the occasion in front of Lena. Because no matter how brave I was trying to act, it was obvious for both of us that I wouldn't be able to stand against a big guy like that. And him knocking me out wouldn't be able to be the worst of it. The worst of part is that Lena would see all of that. And she'll laugh at me like everybody else. No, I don't need anybody to see me in such a shameful state.
Сегодня вряд ли получится. Ты же знаешь, Семен, скорее всего, караулит на школьном дворе. Лучше мне с ним разобраться лично, по-мужски.
God. Honestly, Anton, you're a great big brother, but you're not a really great guy, are you? Not really. I don't know.
Глупости какие.
Paulina brushed off some of her hair off her forehead and a sense of weak aroma of blackberry. Paulina was like water when you were thirsty. You gulped it down and still wanted more. I remember the summer evenings at the country house when the fire's kitchen smoked the berries, hanging over our fence from the neighbors and a soft cover of pine needles under my soles. There were the peaceful days when I felt completely safe. My mom resting the hammock, my dad putting meat on a skewer. Could I have foreseen the upcoming catastrophe in the crackle of the coals in our parents' lap, the smell of a fleeting July? Could I have been seeing how fragile the world was?
Думаешь, этот дикарь будет честно драться? Со своими дружками набросятся всем скопом, опомниться даже не дадут.
Wow, her smile's kind of creepy though. Paulina suddenly flashed a devious smile.
Но если мы пойдем вместе, это их ошарашит. Я же не только первая скрипка на деревне, я ведь еще и девочка. слышала от знакомого хулигана, что он никогда не нападает на кого-то в присутствии девушки. Представляешь, у них кодекс чести такой.
A delinquent, you know, I thought, worried. Is he better than me? Taller, more handsome? Or are you jealous? You just know her.
Ой, мне на музыку пора.
She made a couple of steps and stopped. Amazing. Paulina didn't look like those beauties from the magazine posters or the actresses from the movies. But in the flickering light of the ceiling lamp, she looked much more alluring.
А ты играешь на чем-нибудь?
My parents bought me a guitar a couple of years ago. I mainly remember my meager attempts at making music. Change. We're all waiting for a change. Sorry songs echoed my thoughts and my desire to change something. That guitar got lost somewhere as if refusing to move to the old house near the forest. I think my parents gave it away to someone that needed it more.
Увы, не играю.
Жалко. Ну ладно, я побежала. Пока!
Her shot was captured by the loud echo. Her shoes also echoed to the school hallway.
Пока!
I wasn't sure if Paulina heard me. I looked out the window again. The schoolyard was empty, just a couple of grade schoolers throwing snowballs at each other. Nobody looked like the hulking Semyon with his cronies. This was giving me hope. What should I do? Paulina could become my friend, the first one in this new place. And besides, she may be in real danger of meeting a killer, and I'll be her defender, her knight. You sure about that? Even though my inner voice was hesitant and whispered about running away from the killers lurking in the woods at night. Paulina was worth the risk. But the rat-cunning fox was also intriguing. He promised me to help look for Vova, and this will bring me a reward. More money will almost guarantee peace in my family. Gifts were all, yeah. I imagine my sister happy like those fellows who get prizes from Supernova in the finest hour. She'll be dancing with the famous singers. Maybe a new popular boy band like Ivanovsky International. Mom and Dad hugging in the Ostokino Pavilion. And then all of us going to Disneyland. Did I? A balancing bucket with a rack on the bottom of it, filled to the brim with murky tap water. The reek of salty chemicals and the stench was so intense that I felt sick. I staggered away from it, praying that I don't meet the same fate as the person on cleaning duty. Turn me around and I'll tell you who's stupid. I'll be coming off the side on the other side. I wonder how long would Simon keep turning it around until it fell into his hand. Somebody left their school shoes on the windowsill. Judging from their size, they belong to a boy my age. Alright. Who should we go for? To be honest, as sweet and romantic a date with Paulina B, we're going Alyssa because she's funnier. After closing my backpack, I ran down the stairs. And plus, we promised her first. Good achievement. I scanned my surroundings through the windows in the main hall. Nobody suspicious inside. School doors creaked, the sound was swimming with the music from a thriller, the high note that comes before an intense scene. I ran around the school corner trying not to catch anyone's attention. The smell of pastry and burnt sugar wafted from the school cafeteria. I froze when I saw a silhouette in the second floor window. It must be Paulina, gliding a bow on a violin strings with her head slightly tilted to the side. I wish I could hear the melody she played, but Paulina was only a dark outline on the window's yellow sheet. I dragged my feet forward. Oh! Then, the net on a football goal in the yard fluttered in the wind. Creepy guy's here. The same wind that hurled small white whirlwinds through the field. Somewhere nearby, an invisible tractor was humming, scaring away the crowd of calling birds. The hum of its engine sounded like the howls of hungry beasts that chased me through the snowy desert. Alyssa and her scary mask also came to mind. Right now in the light of day, it was really hard to believe she was real. What did she say back then? The backyard near the hanged man. What did she mean by that? Well, this, obviously. Hey.
Извините.
She still turned around the corner and walked deeper into the dead end, leaving cigarette smoke in its wake. It was an adult, teacher maybe. Let's hope it's not a killer. A forest girl chomping on swamp flower seed. Someone from the school is probably feeding her. Interesting. A used syringe among the cigarette butts. I hope somebody just needed an insulin shot. Wow. I look at the wall. There was a hangman under the thin black line of resin. Someone played the hangman here. Something scribbled on both of them meant escape, fear, and truth.
Ближе, мой сладкий.
It took me a while to realize where the sound was coming from. When I strolled through the coldest sack of the school backyard to the window in snow. And one of the snowballs started tumbling like a volcano before it erupted.
Отдай свое сердце!
In the blink of an eye, the white crust crumbled and a fox jumped at me. See? Isn't she funny? She made a gracious bow, enjoying the effect of her appearance had on me. Silver of snow shine on her coat. I could even imagine that thinking about girls with tails can be this, I don't know what to compare it to. Something infectious, toxically sweet.
Отпор не дал, сердце потерял.
Да ну тебя!
Look at her. I quickly rolled a ball of snow and threw it at Alyssa. She tried to dodge, but it was too late. A hit on the shoulder.
Ух ты ж!
Да, вот такой я!
The fox slowly backed down, trying to arm herself.
Ты хитер, да мы хитрей. Ловок ты, да мы ловчей.
Her retribution was shift. Snowball arched its way above the snowy yard, and the raven flying in the air. I went to duck, but slipped and fell to my knees. And while I was getting up, I get a huge chunk of snow with my face. It burned up from the cold. I swore loudly from immense disappointment.
Блядь!
Using the word I heard in Sakhar's Gaza song on the cassette I hid from my parents. If Dad heard this, he would definitely give me a good white whooping. He had a very low tolerance towards obscene words and always communicate in clean Russian. Well, that's a good father.
Да ладно тебе. Не больно же совсем.
Cutie. She brushed off my hood as if to show compassion and took me by the elbow and helped me get up. With care uncharacteristic of for a child, she took off my glasses, blew away the snowflakes that were stuck to them, and handed back.
Вот так. 1-1, Тоша.
Dosha. Only people who were close to me called me that, and I haven't seen her real face, didn't know her real name, what class she was from, and if she had a real tail under her coat.
Желаешь отыграться?
Мы хотели поискать Вову, помнишь? Лучше поторопиться, а то меня родители станут искать.
Fox let us lazy yawn.
Родители. Как скучно. Давай чуть-чуть поиграем. Все равно тебе дома тоскливо.
А ты откуда знаешь?
Тоже мне тайна. Со взрослыми да в 4 стенах. Тоска смертная. Всегда. У меня от стены взрослых нервный тик. Вот.
Her furry fox brow started twisting. I faked a laugh in reply, unsure whether being able to move parts of her mouth like that was generally funny or not.
Ну же, Тоша, решайся. Я же вижу, ты хочешь поиграть. Если победишь...
Fox girl got dangerously close to me and stood on her tiptoes, almost touching my face with her rough little nose. Playful fire stands deep in her eyes. She smelled nice, like berries in Sakharin. It's just the smell of independence and true freedom. I mean the kind where all you have to do in your life is run wild and eat sweets. Her whispers poured into my ear like scalding hot water.
Если победишь, буду твоим провожатым. Поверь, мне есть что тебе показать. Найдем твоего Вову.
I felt as if a giant invisible spring bent inside me. My tummy hurt, but the sensation was somehow not exactly unpleasant. It was so weird. I just had a conversation with Paulina, and now Eliza was going to drag me along with her.
А если проиграю?
Душу из тебя выцарапаю, неженка. Давай, скорей.
She burst out laughing, whipped the hem of her coat, and ran towards the road we used to come to school in the morning. Her promise, that sounded almost like a threat, hypnotized me. I bent down and scooped up some snow. I wish I had advice that could tell whether Eliza was joking or being serious. Or is there always a third option with people like her? Due to her jokes and her laughter and her hot breath on my ear, I wanted to win. Punish her for the lightness and freedom she possessed that was clearly too much for an average girl. When I, on the other hand, was possessed, or rather intoxicated by the thirst for adventure and my curiosity. Just like that time when I ate cherries from Mom's Anavilka and lied down with my eyes closed while the bed was spinning underneath me. I spat, then cleaned my lips. You want to play, little sister fox? Well then, let's play. I armed myself with Snowball and chased the fleeing fox girl. I saw a familiar street with a wooden post that didn't look scary anymore. They were just logs covered in snow. If I were to shout now, the guard dogs would start barking and their owners would pick out their windows. I learned that a small silhouette was walking me from far away, so it was useless to try hitting her with a snowball for now. Waste of ammunition. Birches, mutilated by the cold, pick out with a few along the clay road. Giant snow piled near one of the trees. It was probably the place where the tractor brought all the snow from the village. The whole family of foxes would fit in such a pile. No, I thought, he's the only fox around here. He alone is already too much. The second morning, Quentin was running around near the edge of the forest. A stray dog with a mangy tail sniffed around and marked the naked berry bush and ran towards the other one. Alyssa jumped up from under the hill.
Жулька! За мной, девочка!
The dog's ear perked up, it barked in agreement and followed her lead. We ran farther and farther, exchanging snowballs, laughing and stumbling. The winter forest towered in front of us, reaching for the low clouds. We were at the edge of its shadow, bony and almost. The fox hid behind a huge pine, clearly trying to get close to me, and shoved some snow down my collar. It was a good plan, but Shulka was running in circles around her and gave her away. I broke off a dry branch and decided to act even trickier. I put my head on it and picked it from the other side of the pine. It makes me think that it's my head. I bit my lip to stop myself from laughing, then jumped out from the other side. Perform a point-blank throw. Alyssa probably cracked my plan right away, but still let me win 3-2-1. I was wounded in the leg and she got shot in the chest and the stomach. There's the imaginary blood in front of my eyes. Pleading for mercy while also choking from laughter.
Молюсь, жалься! Помираю!
Да все, живи!
While they're having fun, isn't this nice?
Спасибо, добрый рыцарь!
He presented the ball to me, then grabbed two full handfuls of snow like a dying warrior, threw them my way in a last-ditch effort. I dodged her attack easily, laughing uncontrollably and being mad at the same time. I finished her with 2 precise shots.
Живи, живи! Научил бы меня жить, раз умный такой.
Молчи, ты умерла уже!
Тоже мне помеха. Давай сыграем в кое-что поинтереснее.
She dashed behind the trees after blowing snow in my direction.
Раз, два, прилети, сова. 3, 4, 5. Время поиграть.
I suddenly moved towards the windfall.
6, да, 6. Дыбом волчья шерсть.
I thought I was on a real tail gliding across the bushes. I rushed at the intertwined branches that helped Eliza to hide as if something was pulling me there. I had to move them, tear them off like a spider web. Branches sprang back in my face, but it felt like they were caressing my cheeks and not hitting them. I was sweating, but still had a lot of stamina left. I'll make sure to catch you, little fox. Eliza's voice was rendering among the windfall.
7, 8. Бьем копытом озимь. А я тебя недооценила. Думала, ты просто мальчик.
Confident that she was behind the dry pine, I rushed to intercept her. But the local acoustic tricked me. Her voice was already echoing from the other side.
Ты зайчик. Шустренький, хорошенький.
A snowball flew at me from the shadows, whistling near my ear.
Я тебе дам, зайчик!
Дай мне зайчика, дай.
A bright fox fur coat flashed near a rodent stump. I rushed there, jumping over a ravine.
Зайчик, выходи скорей. Мясом накорми зверей.
This furry color that flashed from every tree was the most important thing in the world for me. My lips started tumbling as if I was a cowboy that was chasing its prey. One jump and the fox was in my embrace, so smooth and desirable.
Все, ты победил.
We leaned against the stretchy bark and started puffing.
Пожалуйста, давай немного отдохнем. Ты слишком быстрый, слишком сильный.
Satisfied, I put my hands on my thighs, waiting for the spoils of war from the defeated girl. But what again said was sly snowballing with my smug face. The cunning fox ran away, roaring with laughter, but I wasn't even mad about it. I need to catch up to Liza, tackle and subdue her. Tear off her mask and see everything. Oh, ew.
Бедный зайчик прыгает возле мокрых сосен. Страшно в лапы волку серому попасть. Думает о лете, прижимает уши. На небо косится, небо не видать.
The sky really did disappear amid the trees. I moved using the barking of Julka as a guide, since she was closely following her owner. And I was getting closer, and the same trail I imagined back at school blinked under my feet. I turned out like running like there's no tomorrow was so easy. Faster, higher, faster. I felt like there was a well of untapped potential inside of me, and I drew from it. My muscles were buzzing, my lungs fit bigger, and I felt much stronger overall. When my vision became sharper, I saw every itch, icy branch, every dent in the bark. Something colorful was lying near the bushes, a piece of clothing. Another colorful spot to the right. Eliza was losing her clothes on the run, like shedding her skin. Idris also used my teeth to take off my mittens, excited about all that. I'll get naked and feel all the wind. The last drop. Okay, honey, don't do that. You get hypothermia. Faster. I reach out to take off my hat and throw everything away that stops me from running wild in this endless forest. The backpack that slowed me down, so I threw it in the snow along with the pens that were inside, with all the notes of all my drawings on the sideline, and a dinosaur for Olia. No, honey. Olia. Suddenly a clear picture appeared in my mind. My sister standing still near a window, basking in the dusking sun. Her small, childish palms are pressed to the glass, leaving marks when they warm it up. It could warm up the whole world like that. You're looking at the taiga and saying my name.
Тоша!
I stopped, took a deep breath, and realized how rash and stupid I was trying to underdress in the middle of a forest while chasing a fox. Exactly. I returned to get my backpack as if as a part of my being I dropped. I remember again how my sister didn't like to be left home alone, how she asked me to come home faster. What kind of brother am I? Running in the forest that I used to scare my sister with. I'm having fun while she's not even locked over the doorstep. Sit in your cage, Olia, and watch the same cartoons over and over.
Тоша!
Да, Оленька.
Тоша, а куда? Куда
О.
так скачешь, чмошник?
What? Oh, great. Oh, great. Where's Alyssa? From the darkness behind the pines, just like cavemen from their cave, appeared smirking Semyon with a bunch of his ponies. Oh,
Ну, здорово, Антошка.
ah.
Не вышло сдрыснуть, да?
Очкарик в зубе шарик на.
They surround me like carnivorous pride, making me step back. Smell of sweat and tobacco attacked my nostrils. The inside of my mouth felt salty, as if I licked saturated.
Алиса!
The name of my companion turned into a sip of cough. Pines were swaying back and forth like fallen guardians. I was frantically looking everywhere. I dreamt of finding that fox among the trees, expecting her to come to my rescue. But only the wind replied to my pleas. No, Alyssa! I thought you'd help me.
Где Алиса? Что вы с ней сделали?
I shuddered after hearing my own voice. It sounded unnatural, rough, and scary.
Какая еще Алиса? У тебя чё, кукуха поехала? Не ссы, ща вмиг вылечим.
The faster spit through the gap in his teeth and pushed me so hard that I hit my back against the tree.
Ну как, полегчало?
It can't be. Did Alyssa really rule me into this trap, to these bastards? No, I can't believe this.
Глядите-ка, пацаны, а здесь он не такой борзый, как в школе.
Ага, вылитый терпиловна. Ты, сука, приезжая, не на того руку поднял.
Semyon was moving towards me, readying his fist. In that moment, the other delinquent in track pants made a loud whistle, and the hulking boy lowered his hand. It was unexpected. Seems like Maburing wasn't the leader of his gang. In reality, they were listening to the boy who was looking like a small carnivore with a very strong and sharp teeth. probably decided to have some fun at my expense first.
Слышь, Гондон Батькович, это что ли твоя Алиса?
Only then I noticed Shulka beside my legs, scrambling from the cold. Snow plastered all over its fur. The little goat squat in front of the dog and beckoned it with his hand.
Ой ты, батюшки. Алиса, ко мне, сучка блохастая.
The others let out a nasty laugh. Oh my god. I shook. Oh my Oh god, I'm dying. The dog ears perked up and she stared carefully, moving closer.
Иди сюда. Иди, дам кое-чего.
No, wrong Shulka. Oh, I keep passing that, sorry. No! Oh my god. Eliza, come help your dog, please. The dog didn't even have a chance to sniff him when this animal abuser caught it by the ear and kicked it right under the tail. So hard it flew near the snowplow, squealing. Oh my god. No. I hate them. You know what? Let them die. The whole gang burst out laughing and my heart got encrusted with ice. Even the birds that were perched up on tree branches let out frightened caws. At the edge of my vision, I saw something flash in the illusory light of the sleeping forest. Over there, just bushes moving their icy branch in the wind.
Ромка, она ж больше срать не сможет. Давай теперь я.
No.
Второй раз ебану минус на минус даст плюс.
But the stray was already nowhere to be seen.
Чего ты, баран? Втолкуй его на очкарику, где его место. Только так, чтобы он понял.
Ага, за ним кофякна. Этот очкарик тебе при всем классе всек. Да без Б.
Simon brought a sizeable signet ring with some geometric shape carved it to my face.
Ща, барашник, я тебе этой печаткой так заряжу. Клеймо на всю жизнь останется.
Where did all my inner strength and bravery go?
Стой!
A wizard whisper left my lips and my head tilted forward, hitting Simon's fist. Red sparks flew from my eyes.
Бяша! Подсоби!
Simon gave me a rough push towards the bastard with the slanting eyes, and he tripped me. I fell on the sharp crust of ice, and the faster step on my hand, preventing me from getting up. A painful groan escaped my throat.
Слыхали, как заныл? А ты случаем не педик?
I started to lose breath from anger and resentment. The pain was growing. My ear was hot and pulsating pain was shouting through it, like it was cut off and a ball of metal was soon in its place.
Че молчишь, Антошка? Отвечай, не педик.
At this moment, I felt pure, unbridlable rage, the amalgamation of my anger. Like the sprout angst rose up from the depths of my mind, filling all my thoughts.
Твари!
Oh. We got rough?
Мой отец!
What? Oh god, you used the dead card?
Кто-то педик!
Semyon burst out laughing. This became the last straw. Fear and anger were clapping inside of me like mad
Он
dogs.
айкидо занимался! Поняли? Он еще воевал! Таких, как вы, с закрытыми глазами убивает! Я только слово скажу, он...
Rumka lifted up his arm, stopping me from my torrent lies, and made a couple of steps forward. Semyon slowly backed off, giving me an opportunity to stand up. Did he really believe me? Or was he confused by my face twisted with rage?
Воевал, говоришь? Мой батя тоже воевал.
A vet's for animals, though.
В Афгане. А твой?
И мой.
Да, и в каких войсках, интересно?
I stumbled, fear chomped at my rage throat and made it leave.
Да он фуфло гонит, Ромка! Бля, будуна!
Думал, меня так просто развести? Я тебя, сучонка, насквозь вижу.
There was a nasty smile on his face now. This didn't bode well for me.
Ты сам себе приговор подписал.
В школе тебя училка спасла, ну а теперь все! Хана тебе! Во-во! Давай, Антошка, молись, чтобы твой труп по весне нашли мне.
Сидел бы ниже травы, был бы целочкой. Жирного стукнул одно дело. Сёма, ушатай-ка его.
He started going close in on me again, and I ended up in front of Simon. Blood was pumping in his temples. Branches were swaying back and forth as if whispering something, giving me hope. I grit my teeth, fighting the thought that I looked silly, and took a boxing stance I often saw in movies.
Хера ты, Майк Тайсон!
This was my first ever fight. I remember it for the rest of my life if I don't kick the bucket, of course. At the edge of my vision, I noticed the darkness rise again, as if someone was walking back and forth there. I sensed Roma's claws grab my backpack.
Манатки, Антошка. Махаться мешает.
I was about to refuse, unwilling to cooperate with the bastard, but then he fished a butterfly knife out of his pocket. One smooth motion spun it as if showing off and put the blade to my neck. Wow.
Слышь, Рэй, расслабься, а то больно
I let a
будет.
cloud of steam instead of words. Romka pulled it with all his might, and my backpack ended up in his hand. Calm and relaxed. An insidious smile on his face, he looked into my
Ты
backpack.
от нас что-то скрываешь, да? У меня в школе какая-то крыса сменку подрезала.
Oh, the shoes you left in the windowsill, you mean?
Опачки!
Romka gave me a dubious smile. Oh, we have bunny visitors. That's cute.
Так, а что это у нас здесь?
A text and notebooks fell in snow. He was holding my backpack in one hand, something weird in the other. It looked like a mask. Roma lifted it high as if showing someone else to show someone in the treetops in the twilight among the trees. An old bunny mask. Long and worn out ears, barely visible nose and whiskers, and mangy fur on the sides. Where did it come from? Who put it there? Semyon laughed.
Новый год уже прошел, мудила. Или ты реально поехавший?
Это не мое!
Как не твое, В твоем портфеле лежало.
Romka was watching this scene unfold with an evil smile on his face.
А знаешь что? Надевай,
Зачем?
надевай, говорю. Попрыгаешь перед нами.
Давай, давай!
God, I hate them.
Или без штанов домой пойдешь на.
Anything but this. What if someone from our class will pass by?
Не надену.
Сёма, надень-ка на него.
Yeshua rushed to his friend's side and took the worn-out mask from him with a burnished brow. Then he passed it to Semyon, who was already rubbing his hands in anticipation. I looked around the pine woods, as if waiting for help, as if the shadows that writhed around us would take pity on me and take my side. Branches looked like arms twisted in unusual angles. Blackened bark was their charred skin, and the darkness was smoke they produced. I can't run, won't get away, they'll catch me. And then,
Только учти, Сёма. Если он скакать не станет, ты сам за него поскачешь.
Этот чмошника не станет? Да погляди на него, он же дурик конченый.
Этот дурик тебе уже раз в жбан зарядил.
Ромка прав. Давай, толстый, восстанавливай авторитетно.
Или сам у нас запрыгаешь так, что титяндра отцепится.
wow. He must indeed be scared of Romka. Semyon swore silently and glared at me.
Вот. Это чтобы маска хорошо налезла.
Disgusting. Does he always have to spit? He hurled a huge ball of spit on the inside of a plastic bunny face and put it close to mine. His spit looked like a squashed spider. Romka's face twisted. He spasmed like a beast, like he wanted to tell Semyon something, but then he suddenly stopped. Semyon was still close by, with a disgusting smirk on his face and a terrible smell coming from his mouth.
Надевай, быра! А ты урою!
The mess almost looked even more disgusting now, yet despite everything, I felt like a chance for salvation. It could become a second skin. If only I was to put it on, if only my face was to touch its bunny surface. I'm sure the fur will glitter, the ears will tremble like they're alive. I just need to put it on, and Semyon and his friends will be gone. Forever. Should I embrace the bunny? Disgusting, no. I'm not putting a spit on my face. But should we go all the furry route? Oh god, I don't know. If this is a stream, I would ask the stream. I would ask the chat, but for this, I guess just have to mini miny mo it. Mini miny mo. Catch a tiger by the tail. If you will, mini miny mo. Okay. I reached out my hand, wasn't shaking anymore. Damien handed me the mask and let out an evil laugh. The fur warmed to the chest, just like I expected. I get goosebumps, electricity flowed through my spine.
Вот оно, мое спасение.
A voice whispered to me from the well of my subconscious. Just put it on and nobody will hurt you. The forest rose, gazing at me with its cracks in a park. I acted slowly. I took off my glasses. Got rid of the nasty spit on the papier-mâché. Oh, well, that's good. There was a movement inside the bunny face. As if something was trying to break out. I just need to teleport. I lifted up the mask and started moving it towards my flaming cheeks. Just like in that movie with Jim Carrey. This mask had power. Had strength. Carton touched my skin. It enveloped my skull, my nose, and took the shape of my face. It smelled like an animal lair and pine. My lips touched some sort of hard, wavy material. My armor. Strangely enough, through the slits of the old carnival mask, I was able to see as good as through my glasses. A thrill of voice frozen in the clearing. Snowflakes frozen in the air. The trees, whose shadows formed black streams towards me, and a weird silhouette in the early twilight behind the windfall. In all that silence, Damien nervously whispered. What did you say?
Пацаны, что это с ним?
What's wrong? I broadened my shoulders. My muscles felt like they were made of steel. Invisible thumbs of fog flew towards me, breaking off the trees. I was absorbing the force power with every pore of my body. What the hell? Am I imagining things? I smiled underneath the mask. No, I showed my teeth. My fists were itching. My stomach were growling.
Он превращается!
You asked for this. I made a step forward. Damien carefully stepped towards me as if walking on the thin ice. The trail from my dreams sneaked in front of me again. Endless, alluring, was beckoning me away from all the problems through the new world, the world of magic, Neverland. I pulled on the zipper, opened my coat, and threw it in the snow with a fast motion, then growled. Alright. I felt like something was frantically looking for the exit underneath my skin. I went towards Damien.
Он превращается! Твою мать! Превращает!
Конченого мудака!
I know, right? The clearing blew up in a hysteric laughter. Yasha was touching his stomach. Roma smirked and shaking his head. And Damien, who was laughing the most out of the three, spat on his knuckles and waved his fist like a club. I mean, the math is pretty good, not gonna lie.
Ну и дебил же ты, Тошик!
A first color deadened my mask. The fur didn't dampen the blow at all. There was no power, no magic smoke coming from the pines. I flew towards the bushes and landed on my butt. My vision bolstered by adrenaline a moment before it returned to normal. What was we doing yet? Spit's mask
Вот
on.
это был номер! Думал, он на четвереньки встанет и сгрызет нас всех, как морковку.
Не, ну вы видели? Видели? Это считается, что он попрыгал.
Это даже лучше.
I sobbed. The mask had one advantage. If I cried now, nobody would see my tears.
Ну, дурик. Да тебе в психбольнице место. В психбольнице для животных, на!
Then he put his knees into the snow pile. I ripped the glasses from my numb fingers.
Дай очки. Я домой не дойду.
Чё ж, знаешь, какой у зайцев нюх? По запаху доберешься, не ссы. Прыг-скок! Прыг-скок!
Damien shoved the trophy into his pocket and flashed me a toothy grin.
Кролики очки не носят.
А теперь вали отсюда, Даун.
I stood up, still wobbly. The trees became blurry, dark wall. Three bright silhouettes were wobbling around me. There were black spots on them, their eye sockets and mouths, but it looked like to me there was of them that it should be. It turned to the forest. Simon's boot came to my rescue, kicked me in the butt, quickened my shameful retreat. I took the mess into the ravine out of spite, and then zigzagged at the fire break along in the giant snow-laden world. The trunks around me bent in all directions. Treetops disappeared into darkness above me. The sky was pushing me down. I wanted to cry, but my eyes were completely dry by now. Only sadness and longing were left, a desire to bury myself under the snow or leave it for Neverland, joining Vova and Senya. I didn't care where to go, just somewhere far away from here. Somewhere very far away.
Так, я не поняла. Антон, а где очки?
Да, ну, мам,
И как можно быть таким рассеянным? Ты думаешь, я деньги печатаю? Как же? Будешь до следующего года в старых очках ходить.
Olia rushed to me.
А я лису увидела!
Surprise akin to a shotgun blast. I could only flap my lips in reply. A cup shattered into many little pieces with little pieces with a loud tang. My mom let it fall from her hands. Her face was pale and her eyes were glued to the ground. This pause just a split second felt like an eternity. Then my mom spoke with disappointment.
То сова, то лиса. Когда ж тебе надоест?
Правда, правда! Такая пушистая! Она у забора стояла на задних лапах, совсем как человек. Она меня позвала, а тут мама вышла, и лиса убежала.
Не было там никакой лисы. Не выдумывай.
не подходи к ней.
If it was necessary, I was ready to treat my sister as she was a doll made of cloth.
Ты чего, Тоша?
Не подходи, слышишь?
Mom entered the hallway and gave me a surprised look. I hesitated.
Ну, лиса ведь укусить может.
I remember fairy tales where foxes used to kidnap children. I imagined my Alyssa, liberated carnivorous, running through the night forest with dangling snack in her hand.
Это ж была не настоящая лиса. Расскажи ему, Оль.
Она на двух ногах ходила, а еще была в платье одета. Только она была взаправду.
Видишь?
Mom showed us a tired smile, as was the only explanation needed. I also forced myself to smile. My smile was like a thin piece of soap right before it dissolves completely on your palm. But when I was left alone with my sister, I whispered,
Еще раз увидишь ее, беги.
I shut my eyes and threw the vitamins in my mouth, washed them down with water. Please stop driving me mad, please. I was doing my homework on a Friday evening, like usual. I'd already finished the hard part. There was only my art homework left, my favorite subject. Ooh, draw. But I need to draw some sort of magic beast. Cute! I wanted to draw a dino at first, but my brush reached towards the orange paint by itself. Oh. Fox now. One struck off another, the picture of Fox slowly started forming on a piece of paper. She was almost popping out of the snow-white sheet. She stood on her back legs and wore a sly smile. My brush moved again, drawing a fluffy tail, and a moment later it dropped out of my weak hand. After I finished my drawing, I spent a while studying it, surprised, as if I could understand where this beast came from. The longer I looked, the scarier her smile felt. Carnivorous, fake, like the smells of women from adult magazine that were sold in pressed chaos back in the city. An alluring smile that masked deep-seated malice. Fox's eyes turned out red as if bloodshot. They looked more like a bullet holes as you see in an action movie. I don't remember drawing them this way. I moved away from the table, and the light reflected from the wet paint. The drawing was glossy. Felt like the fox was watching me, waiting.
Ты что, оглох?
Я задумался.
Тебя спрашиваю, ты сестру не видел? Опять она где-то прячется.
Something moved under my bed, and I froze. Ollie's dirty face peeked up with a finger pressed to her lips.
Оля, я тебя вижу. Вылезай, ты же в пыли вся.
Ollie crawled from under the bed and started dusting off her stockings, looking down.
Пойдем, Оль. Я тебе сказку почитаю. Посижу с тобой, пока не уснешь.
Я с вами спать хочу. не в той комнате. Там...
Mom entered the room.
Что, опять сова?
А кто ж еще? Оль, она не придет больше. Я ее прогнал.
Olia shook her head in defiance.
Не прогнал. Она придет. Она сказала, что будет каждую ночь приходить.
О, так она у тебя говорящая?
Olia ignored the question, then asked with a newfound determination.
Можно я с вами посплю? Можно? В самый последний раз.
А пусть у меня ложится.
I thought it was a great idea, but Olia shook her head again.
Нет, у тебя не хочу. Она и на тебя смотрит.
It felt goosebumps all over my body.
Хватит! Нет никакой совы. Ты сегодня спишь у себя, ясно?
Ну, пожалуйста, мам!
Poor Olia.
Пожалуйста!
Mom took Olia's hand and tried to lead her out of my room.
Пойдем, милая. Не мешай брату.
Olia clutches the bed's head with free hand.
Пожалуйста, пожалуйста, пожалуйста! Не хочу к ней!
Mom was tugging Olia towards herself, but she didn't budge. Only the bed's head squeaked in agony. Dad intervened by picking Olia up and carrying her out of the room, despite her desperate protests and pleas.
Не надо! Не надо к ней! Она опять смотреть будет! Мамочка,
I listened to them struggling to make my little sister go to bed for a while. In the end, my parents gave up and let Olia sleep with them. But it was surely the last time ever. Whenever I settled down, I was lying in my room thinking about Olia's words. He was watching me too. I felt uncomfortable. I barely managed to calm down only after closing the curtains in my room shut. But as soon as I closed my eyes, memories of my days started jumping around in front of me. I was in the middle of the stuffy school corridor. I could see the literature classroom from here, the face of dead classical writers on their portraits, the prim and regal pose of our homework teacher, Lilia Pavlovna. And around the corner was her daughter, Katya, a snitch and a gossip eagerly waiting for me.
эй, новенький! Новенький!
Чего тебе, Кать?
She got on her tiptoes and started swaying while hiding her hands behind her back, then asked me with a fake smile on her face.
Скажи, пожалуйста, а чего это тебя к нам перевели, а?
You might have told the truth about this to Paulina. Katya will sell it on the market for 3 kopecks. It will be the same as printing all my thoughts and hanging them in your profile picture for everyone to see. So I reverted to an answer I knew by heart.
Это все из-за моих родителей. У папы тут новая работа, а мама...
But Katya didn't even listen to me, just rushed through the perked up ears of her friends, whispered something while still glanced at me giggling.
Да-да, он нас тут совсем за дурачков держит. Я вот слыхала, что это все из-за его отца. Он недавно кому-то крутому дорогу перешел, и теперь они всей своей семейкой...
Неправда! Ты все врешь!
А слышали? Слышали, как он бабулина просто так стукнул? Это каким надо быть уродом, чтобы в первый же день так на...
Прекрати! Ты же знаешь, он первый начал!
И будто этого мало. Ходят слухи, что этот чудик повсюду таскает с собой. Ой, девочки, ну кто же в своем уме будет такое делать? Ясно, понятно. Со странностями наш Антошка. Может, слабоумный, и маньяк? Если в его портфеле хорошо покопаться, там и топор отыскать можно. Да-да-да.
Замолчи! Заткнись!
Ха! Вон как раскричался-то, будто ужален. А зрачки какие широкие. Опять чего доброго с катушек слетит и руки распускать начнет. Не зря же его мать с таблетками тычки.
I just stood there in confusion, trying to think to understand how she found out my medicine. And what scared me even more was the possibility that her nonsense had some truth mixed in.
Да-да. Он такой же ненормальный, как и его сестрица. Представляете, к этой сумасшедшей дурочке каждую ночь прилетает сова ростом с человека. Только что-то ее никто из здоровых людей не видел. А этот наивный простак ей верит. Нет, ну вы представляете?
Not this girl. And then I caught a single kind look from the smoking crowd.
Это правда, Антон? Неужели действительно тебе не здоровится?
Полина, послушай меня.
Как же, как же. Не слушай этого болтуна, Полиночка. Ты еще не знаешь. Он тебя на другую променял. Не из нашей школы. На Алису.
Polina slouched as if someone kicked her in the stomach, then burst out in tears and fell to the floor, wailing and screaming.
Почему она, Антон? Почему?
Why? I couldn't understand her reaction, but I still rushed to Polina's side before getting shot violently by Katya.
Убери от нее свои лапы, чудовище!
Rage was building up under the veil of my fear. Slowly rose from the cloudy mist. I felt my upper lip cup up, showing my
То, что
teeth.
твой отец бьет мать, еще не дает тебе права поднимать руку на девушку.
My fists became hammers. I couldn't unclench them. Nobody can speak about my family like that. I came to my senses when I already lunged at the angry Katya.
Ага! Слетел-таки! Слетел! Спасите! Помогите! Петровска!
At the same moment, the cloud around her became louder. It started whistling and roaring and growing. The subtle silhouette of my schoolmates became larger and wider. They shot upward towards the ceiling, turned into black giant flowers chock full of fruity faces. I shrank to the tiny ball of fur, started shaking in fear before the might of ultra-ridden trunks that belonged to their trees or humans. It was impossible to tell.
Вот ты и показал свое животное нутро. Трус!
Man, she looks crazy as hell. Katya's face was twisted with jubilation and ecstasy. Polina screamed while choking on her tears.
Животное! Чужак!
A scary flapping of wings came from the forest. A pair of giant white ears descended somewhere from above, and I dived myself into them. I jumped up, almost falling out of bed. Apparently, I was thrashing around for hours on the sweat-soaked sheet. Olia's scream pulled me out, set me free from the tentacles of fear.
Антон! Пожалуйста! Вставай!
I took my eyes a while to focus on the silhouette near the window. Olia's voice was distant, my head was still ringing after the fight. Tones got distorted as if my ears were stuffed with cotton. My sister, as distressed as ever, just kept on repeating the same phrase.
Сова! Сова! Пожалуйста! Я боюсь!
Her tears poured in my heart like boiling water, but I was almost thankful of the owl's appearance. Otherwise, this scared Olia wouldn't have woken me
Оля,
up.
я сейчас. Хочешь, я тебе Мурзилку почитаю? Подожди.
I placed my bare heels on the cold floor, felt around for my glasses. Remember Sammy on his other hand attack and sighed.
Антон! Пожалуйста! Посмотри!
She couldn't tear her eyes off the window as it was staring contest. I found the light switch in my hand and the lamp poured bright light all over me. I got up. My vision fooled me, moving the window closer only to push it farther the next movement. My sister was just a blurry spot. I took a hesitant step forward.
Оль, что там? Что-то случилось? Ты хочешь, чтобы я открыл шторы?
Нет! Не надо! Там же... Сова!
The voice was coming from behind. I turned around and froze from terror. Teary-eyed Olia stood in the doorway.
С кем ты разговаривал, братик?
As she stared at me with eyes that were red from crying and with her hands wrapped around her shoulders, her voice was nervous as she was afraid to hear my answer.
Я разговаривал с тобой.
The latch outside my window creaked ominously as if something huge was sitting on top of it. And the thing that pretended to be Olia started spreading, changing shape, grew to scary height under the light of the carnivorous moon. The voice didn't belong to my sister anymore. The thing that was hiding behind my curtains got tired of pretending, making me look like a fool. I pinched myself as hard as I could, held in the silhouette near the window, which was the continuation of my nightmare. A hallucination brought upon the cursed house. And those don't bite, do they? His silhouette was towering before me under the veil of mist. I heard Olia's shrill scream and someone had knocked on the window. I stepped back in the middle of the room, as if there existed nooks where I could hide from this horror. The sound was sharp and metallic. The lamp started shimmering, then it suddenly lightened the hole and went out. Like a candle under a strong wind, the filament inside it snapped with a ringing sound. The darkness that was waiting for the exact moment poured from the angles and enveloped me. There was only this window left in the whole universe. Moonlight poured through it, painting everything the color of bones that were exhumed from a crypt. Olia started squealing and pressed herself into my back, seeking protection. Then an eye, burning with carnivorous fire, stared at us from the window. No, he wasn't trying to break the window. He was toying with us. He kept knocking, driving us mad. As if a giant clock was measuring the time left for us, its pendulum swinging above the abyss. She was screaming in desperation, her hands clutching my arm like a pair of pincers. I could barely make out a pair of wings that spread out above the black spot.
Скажи ей, Антон! Скажи, что я больше не буду себя плохо вести! Никогда! Только пусть она уйдет! Пожалуйста!
The moonlight suddenly disappeared and the room descended into darkness. We didn't see the burning eye anymore. I swallowed the stingy lump that was stuck in my throat. I stepped towards the curtain and transferred the call of the disfigured guest.
Не буду, не буду, не буду, не буду!
Ollie was standing behind me, mumbling, "I'll be good, I'll be good, I'll be good." The bleak window was creeping closer, curtains rustled. I reached out to move them aside so I could look my fear in the eye. At the moment, I hear a noise coming from our parents' bedroom. Without thinking, I pulled the curtains aside in one swing. Nothing. Though there was something shining on the ledge among the scattered feathers. My glasses. The ones that Samuel took from me. How did they get here? Was that a gift from the gurgling night that I will really bring them here? I look at the front yard of the foreboding clearing at the Tutti forest. Not a soul, not a trace of our late-night guest. Only the old lamppost screaming like a lone watchman among the snowy desert. The dry window frame creaked. Throw away the insulating tape and the scraps of glued newspapers. Open the window with a big trouble. Frost pinned me with little pen needles. Painting on my walls moved from the draft. I touched my glasses. Surely they would melt in my hand. But they were real. My brain was scrambling for an explanation. Samuel and his gang just pulled a prank on me. That was it. That's it. A smooth white blanket was glittering under the street lamp just outside our yard. If anybody was to get close to the house, to climb the path to the ledge of our window, there would surely be footprints. But there were none. I cautiously took my glasses. My wrist was still intact. Nobody pulled me into darkness, full of restless ribbing.
Вы почему не спите?
I swayed from surprise, almost fell out the window.
Совсем сдурели? Жарко, что ли? Не болели давно?
Там сова была! Тоша ее прогнал!
А ну-ка марш спать к себе в комнату! А с тобой...
Mom paused there, raised her seething eyes at me, just thinking of a punishment equivalent to my crime. In the end, she just waved her hand, took Olia by the shoulder, and left, throwing gloomy words my way.
Завтра поговорим.
I managed to get the frame back in place with a couple of hits and pressed into the latches with all the strength of my fingers could muster. The cold left the room, but the fear was still present. I placed my glasses on my nose and started studying my reflection on the window. The look on my face more like a death mask, like the one worn by the boy from the notice board. That night, I was on the edge of joining him there. The black and white face was staring at me through the clearing between the student heads. Grape B, he left for school the morning January 16 and never returned. Features 155, 164, chubby, brown hair and gray eyes. He's wearing black brown girl sheepskin coat, beach scarf, black mink, and Oscar boots. He was in vulva. His face was red beside it. I recognized the fat cheeks and damaged skin. Well, I'm grateful. Then yawned. Barbarian's photo was printed out and placed under the glass like an exhibition piece. Episode 3. On end, the world's grave for a will stand. Well, with that being said, we're gonna end the video there. that was crazy. And honestly, I don't know if I picked the right choices most of the time. This is gonna be a very long video, but I think chapter 3 will be longer. But we'll see. So thank you everyone for watching. Leave a comment if you want. Subscribe if you want more Tiny Bunny or more content coming your way. In March, I'm planning to record Persona. I don't know if it's gonna be on stream or not, so I don't know yet. But I'm totally gonna be playing it, so we'll see. But that's all the time I have today, so thank you once again for watching. You can check my other accounts on the description below, or check my other videos if you want. And I'll see you guys on my next video. Bye bye.